Welcome into 10 Sports Extra, everyone. I'm Chris Fisher. We have a jam-packed show for you tonight. Phil Mickelson's birthday wish wasn't granted at the U.S. Open, and we'll discuss the addition of Tim Tebow to New England with Patriots insider Steve Burton. But we lead off with the biggest home run hitter to come out of Durham since Crash Davis. The Rays have called up their highly anticipated top prospect, outfielder Wil Myers from AAA. To make room, they option infielder Ryan Roberts to Durham. Myers is crushing the ball lately, leading the Bulls with 14 homers and 57 RBIs. The big piece acquired in the James Shields trade will meet up with the Rays in Boston and make his major league debut on Tuesday against the Red Sox.
I don't want to add any more pressure to myself. I just look at it as a challenge, to really live up to those expectations and play as good as I can every day. So I don't want to say it's added pressure. It's just more of a challenge.
Upon news of Wil Myers' call-up, Rays skipper Joe Maddon went to Twitter writing, "I don't want to lump a bunch of high expectations on Wil. We'll put him in the bottom part of the order and let him play. Just be a Ray." As for today's game, Roberto Hernandez unable to duplicate his previous strong outing. Royals getting on the scoreboard in the first, but in the home half, Luke Scott knots this one up. He's been on fire, hitting in 6 of his last 10 at-bats, tying this one up once. 3 batters later, Desmond Jennings puts the Rays on top. Scott's going to scoot around to score. Tampa Bay taking a 2-1 lead, but KC would tie it up. Then in the 6th, Alcides Escobar lines one to left. Royals would drive in 2 runs during the frame. They're back in front 4-2. We jump to the bottom of the 9th. KC up 5-3, tying run at the plate, and Ben Zobrist goes down swinging. Rays drop 3 of 4 to the Royals, 5-3 the final.
We've not been good with the bases loaded in general this year, and we just runners in scoring position have kind of gotten away from us. They flat beat us. They outplayed us for 3 of the 4 games. Actually, we did get 1 of them, but Kansas City's playing really well right now, and they deserve to win.
And joining us now is Charlie Bernstein, radio host for Sports Talk Florida, 1040 a.m. And let's talk about Wil Myers. Everyone seems to be under the impression he's an Evan Longoria caliber of player. Is that what you're anticipating?
I'm not anticipating an Evan Longoria type of player, at least not right away. But Wil Myers was the Baseball America Minor League Player of the Year. When those guys come up to the bigs, they don't just become average guys. They're normally good players. They're normally all-stars. And I believe when they traded James Shields and Wade Davis, those were the expectations for Wil Myers. Maybe not immediately, but certainly down the line very shortly.
He's hitting 14 home runs, a .283 average, but he is amongst the league leaders in the International League when it comes to strikeouts. What is his learning curve going to be like when he gets up to the bigs?
He's probably going to strike out a lot more. He's never faced big league pitching on a consistent basis. Obviously, he's faced some big leaguers in spring training, has done fairly well, but that's spotty at best. I can't anticipate him not striking out quite a bit early on.
As we just saw, Joe Maddon says he's going to bat him in the bottom half of the order. Do you believe that's a good move?
Absolutely a good move by Joe Maddon. You want to limit the pressure that's going to be on this guy coming up. Last year, if he was with the team, if they brought him up with Evan Longoria being down for virtually half the year, there would have been a lot of pressure on him to hit third, hit fourth, to be the savior in that lineup. They don't have that pressure this year. Even though they're struggling of late with the bat, they still have scored a lot of runs, scored, I believe, the most runs of any MLB team in the month of May.
And he's Charlie Bernstein. You can catch him weekdays on the radio airwaves on Sports Talk Florida 1040. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to turn our attention to Alex Cobb, who's at home tonight after being released from Bayfront Medical Center this afternoon. After sustaining a mild concussion and a cut on his ear in the top of the 5th inning in yesterday's ballgame, he was kept overnight at Bayfront Medical for observation. All his tests proved to be normal. The Rays have placed the 25-year-old right-hander on the 7-day concussion disabled list. There is no timetable for his return to the mound. Cobb went to Twitter this morning to write, "Want to say thank you to our all-star trainer Ron Porterfield and the doctors at Bayfront Hospital. Woke up with only a minor headache today." 10 News' Bobby Lewis was in the Rays clubhouse this afternoon to find out where the team goes from here.
Joe Maddon writes inspirational quotes on the lineup card before every game, and today's was from pastor and author Robert Schuller. "Tough times never last. Tough people do." And tough is the perfect word to describe Alex Cobb. Just about 12 hours after he was admitted to the hospital, his teammates said it was weird coming to the clubhouse without their buddy by their side.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks. It's still fresh in our mind, so we miss him a lot, and we're glad he's on his way to his recovery, and for the most part, he's out of the woods.
It's a little different, a little quieter, and but it's hopefully he's resting and recovering well.
The Rays have been dealing with David Price out for a month, and now they're down another starter. And they all say they have to carry the load that Cobb leaves behind.
We're still all starters, so there's really nothing to change as far as that goes. Injuries happen with David, and unfortunately scary stuff happens like that too with Cobb. So we're just going to continue to try to go about our business as best as possible.
The Rays are off on Monday but have a doubleheader on Tuesday. Chris Archer will pitch the first game against the Red Sox, and the second game, the Rays haven't decided who will throw in that one. It could be Alex Cobb if they decide to recall him from AAA Durham. Remember, he won his Major League debut 2 weeks ago against the Marlins. At the Trop, I'm Bobby Lewis, 10 News.
As for David Price, forget a minor league rehab assignment on Tuesday. That will have to be pushed back. After a 25-pitch bullpen session yesterday, he said there's still some lingering soreness from his simulated game pitched Thursday. He's been out since May 16th with a tricep injury. He tossed the ball today and will do so again tomorrow, and is now slated to throw another bullpen Wednesday. Rays are hopeful for a July return. Well, Phil Mickelson called it the best opportunity he's ever had to win the U.S. Open, and it appeared all the stars were aligned. Today, his birthday, and his highly publicized red-eye flight in from his daughter's graduation to make it to Marion. It seemed like good karma on Father's Day. Lefty leading the field to begin the final round, but a tough front nine put Mickelson 2 strokes back at the par 4 10th. The approach shot, you get presents on your birthday, and this is definitely one of them. An eagle, tying him for the lead at even par, but that wasn't the shot of the day. This was. Sean Stefani at the par 3 17th. No golfer has ever recorded an ace at Marion during an Open until now. Stefani got no trophy, but he's keeping the ball. Justin Rose, after a birdie on 12 to tie for the lead, this for the outright at 13. Sinks the birdie. He's at 1 over par. Back to Phil, needing this chip to hole out at 18 to force a playoff, and lefty, for the 6th time, finishes a runner-up at the Open. Justin Rose wins the 113th U.S. Open and his first major championship. A look at the final leaderboard, and notice no Tiger Woods. He had his worst ever finish at a major at 13 over par. As for Rose, it was all about staying mentally tough this week.
I committed myself to sort of putting a strategy in place that I hoped would work the next sort of 5 to 10 years and deliver major championships, and almost to sort of strike upon that feeling and first week out, in a sense, first time I tried and tested it, to come out with the silverware feels absolutely amazing.
For me, it's very heartbreaking. This could have been a really big turnaround for me on how I look at the U.S. Open and the tournament that I'd like to win, after having so many good opportunities.
Next, Tim Tebow time. We'll discuss the Patriots' decision to bring in the former Gators Heisman winner with Pats insider Steve Burton. Welcome back into 10 Sports Extra. The Patriots may be on Tim Tebow time now, but it's still Tom Brady's bunch. Joining us now is Steve Burton, who covers the Patriots for WBZ in Boston. And Steve, why do you think the Pats signed Tebow?
Well, I think for a number of reasons. They did it, well, Belichick would tell you they did it to help the Patriots, but I think they did it to also help Tim Tebow. Belichick and Tebow are friends. Patriots owner Robert Kraft said that he wanted to add a little bit more character to the team, and Tebow definitely brings that in. But it's going to be interesting to see the combination. Belichick is a genius at being creative, and if anybody that they can be creative with, it's a guy like Tim Tebow. But that's if Tim Tebow makes a team, and I got a feeling that he will make the team.
Rob Gronkowski lives locally in Tampa. We understand he just went through surgery. Could we see Tebow lining up at tight end, or is he strictly a quarterback?
He's not going to be the starting quarterback because Brady has that sewn up. But Belichick could move him around in the red zone. He could put him at tight end. He could put him at running back as well, or slot back. The question is, how good are Tim Tebow's hands? They look good in practice. He looks good in practice, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out.
Obviously, this is Tom Brady's team, and Ryan Mallett is the backup right now. But where do you see Tebow on the depth chart at quarterback?
Well, right now he's the number 3 quarterback. Ryan Mallett is number 2, and Mallett has not had a whole lot of playing time because Tom Brady takes all the snaps. It's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out during the exhibition season, because Tebow and Mallett will get a lot of snaps in the 4 games during the exhibition season.
Thanks for joining us, Steve. Now let's switch gears to Sprint Cup. where they held a moment of silence at Michigan Motor Speedway for the late Jason Leffler. We pick it up on lap 104. Casey Kane in the lead when his right front tire blows out. Into the wall he goes. Flames burst from his car. Kane, not only a driver, but a fireman, extinguishing the blaze. After all, he did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Tough luck for Dale Earnhardt Jr. on lap 129 when his engine blows. His last win came at Michigan, but not this time. The checkers belong to Greg Biffle, winning at Brooklyn for the 4th time. Miami Heat going down to the Spurs tonight, 114-104. Spurs have a 3-2 series lead. And happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, especially mine. Take care.